Welcome. Today we're talking about the 6th commandment, and we're talking about the 6th commandment from the book of the law. This is an image of the book of the law that we're using. And like we've done before, I will begin by giving you a background of when these commandments were given. First of all, these commandments were given by the voice of the Most High in Mount Sinai. The voice of the Most High in Mount Sinai. They were given to Moses and to all of Isolele. Now, though Moses and the elders of Isolele only went into the mountain, and Moses alone received the tablets of the law, yet all Isolele had the voice of the Most High when he gave these commandments. Secondly, the commandments were written on 2 tables of stone by the finger of the Most High. We know the story. Moses broke these 2 tablets, after which he prepared another set of 2 other tablets. And the Most High again wrote the same words. And the tables or the tablets were placed in the Ark of the Covenant. And then the Ark of the Covenant is kept within the tabernacle, which was kept in the temple until the Babylonian captivity. So that's the background of when these 10 commandments were given. And like I like to say, think of yourself as Isolele, the people, the individuals who were up or at the bottom of that mountain who had the actual voice of the Most High. So what is this 6th commandment? This is what it looks like. All of this text is the 6th commandment. Not some of it, but all of it. Let us now listen to it.
Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt slay no man in malice, neither thy child, nor thy wife, nor thy bondman, nor thy bondwoman, nor thy servant, nor the child of thy servant. Neither shalt thou slay thine enemy, except thou admonish him, and entreat him, and he hear thee not, and God give him into thy hand. Thou shalt only slay him in lawful war. And if any man trespass against thee, and break through, and do violence, thou shalt not slay him in revenge. If thou overtake him in the trespass, thou mayest resist unto blood. But except thou slay him in the trespass, thou shalt deliver him to the judge, he shall judge him, and the hand of the office shall be on him.
All right, so that is the 6th commandment. Let's make some few observations about this commandment before we start interpreting it. First 4 observations are these words that I have highlighted here. The word you, the word shalt, and then not kill, and man. So here on the right, I found out that, or I observed that you are referred to 20 times by the Most High in this commandment. So clearly, he was addressing you, Isolele. 20 times he was talking to you, okay? Like we've done before, I will emphasize, if something is repeated, it's for a reason. It's so that you get it. That's how we learn. That's how we're designed to learn, through repetition. So the Most High refers to us or spoke to us and pointed at us and said, you, 20 times, so that we understand that this is for us. Let's look at the second word, the word shalt. Now, first of all, what does this word mean? The word shalt is an archaic or an old word, used in ancient times, in ancient English, as a translation of whatever the word was. And it's in present tense, as if the second person singular is speaking. Now, it's derived from the word shall, and the word shall has 4 meanings. I want you to focus on the 3rd meaning here, because I think it's the one that is relevant. The 3rd meaning tells us that the word shall expresses a command or an exhortation. It is used in laws, regulations, or directives to express what is mandatory. Keyword here is mandatory, okay? So you shall not kill. That is mandatory. It is not a suggestion. You shall not do something. That is mandatory. It is not up for debate. The Most High was telling them, you shall not kill. That is a directive. It is not for discussion. Mandatory is a key word. What about the word may or mayest? The word used in the commandment is mayest. Again, it's in present tense, as if spoken by the second person, and it is referring to a singular version of this, not many people. So he's addressing you as an individual also. It's derived from the word may. What does it mean? There's several meanings here, 3, 4 of them. I want you to pay attention to the first part B. And this means the word may is used here to mean to have permission, to have the freedom to do something. You have a choice. Okay? So you have the freedom to make a choice. You have the permission to make a choice. That is what the word mayest or may, is expressing here. So in the context of this commandment, now we're going to look at where those two words are used. So we're looking at the second word in green, shalt. This word is used 8 times in this commandment. And once we have the word mayest. So what is it telling us? You shall not kill. You shall not slay no man. Okay? You shall not slay even, neither shall you slay your enemy. It's not a suggestion. It's mandatory. Okay? Then here it says, and God gave him into thy hand. So it's explaining about your enemy. Neither shall you slay your enemy, except you admonish him. You're supposed to admonish him, not slay him. You're supposed to entreat him. You're supposed to talk to him, and if he does not hear, then the Most High will give him into your hand, and you will only slay him, shalt only slay him, mandatory, in lawful war. You shall not slay him in revenge. Mandatory. You cannot do it out of revenge. If you overtake him, now this is one who has trespassed you, and if any man trespass against you, whether they break into your house or they steal something of yours, whatever the trespass is, and let's say it's in self-defense as a trespass, if you overcome him or overtake him in that trespass, you may resist. You have permission to resist killing him. That's what unto blood means. You have permission in self-defense to resist killing him. Okay? The Most High understands that there's a possibility that you may kill him. But the Most High is saying you have permission to resist killing him. He's not saying you have permission to kill him. He's saying if you have capability in the heat of the moment to resist killing him, he's giving you the permission to do that. That's the word mayest or may. And once you resist that, you do not kill him, you shall deliver him to the judge. And the judge is required, it's mandatory that the judge will judge that person. And the judge's hand, meaning the power given to the judge of the hand of the officer, shall be on him. Law enforcement, whatever the law enforcement agency, police, whoever it is, shall be on him. They have to mete out a punishment on him. It's not optional. They need to do it. Okay, so that's shalt and mayest. That is the second part. Now let's talk about this killing. 7 times killing or slaying or blood is referred to in here. This is what the commandment is about. 7 times you're told, do not kill. You do not slay the person. You can only slay the enemy if you're at lawful war. Okay? You have to have done these things we just talked about, admonishing him and treating him and all that. And you're also told, even that person who's trespassing against you, you have no permission to slay him in revenge. Okay? If you can, as you're protecting yourself, you have permission to resist slaying him. If it happens accidentally, yes, that is accidental, but you're not supposed to do it deliberately. That's why you have permission to resist killing him. Yes, it can happen that you slay him in the trespass, maybe in self-defense. That doesn't mean that you just sit there and let somebody come and destroy you and everything. No, you might have, manslaughter. That's accidental. That's in a trespass. Somebody was on the wrong side of the road. Something like that happens, accidental stuff. Okay, so that is on the killing. Let's talk about the fourth part. So here it says, no man. You shall slay no man in malice. Okay? Then it describes who is this man or human being. You shall not kill a child, whether it's 6 weeks old or 9 months old. Don't kill that child. Or 10 years old. Some people get into debates about abortion and all that stuff. The command is that you shall not do it. Okay? From the Most High, not from me. This is what the book says here. Femicide. You're killing your wife or somebody's wife. Your bondman is somebody who is in your care or working for you because their family or their people owe you a debt, right? You're not supposed to kill that man or woman who is in servitude to you because they're indebted to you or their family is indebted to you. Don't kill your servant, even their child of the servant. Your enemy, okay? What are you supposed to do to this person? Admonish him and treat him. Make sure he hears you, and so on and so forth. 20 times. The Most High is referring to a human being. It's not talking about goats. It's not talking about cows. It's not talking about pigs. It's not about chicken. It's not talking about fish. It's talking about his creation in humanity, the only creation that was made in his image. We're not supposed to kill one another as human beings. I mean, it's very, very basic, very, very plain and clear. Okay. Let's look at what this word malice. It was the first word you saw here, where it says, you shall not slay any man in malice. What exactly is this malice? Malice is to desire to cause pain or injury or distress to another one. Your motive is to cause them harm, pain, injury, or distress. It's your intent to commit an unlawful act or cause harm without legal justification or excuse, right? This is what malice is. So if you're just hating on somebody and you want to go kill them, yeah, this is what we're talking about. If you feel you ought to revenge to them, that is malice. That's why we're being told it's mandatory. You shall not do this because of malice. Okay, let's jump on. This is where I was talking about malice because there are three scenarios given here where we're being told you shall not kill. The first one is malice. You just have bad intent. Whether it's against your child, your wife, your bondman, bondwoman, your servant, their child, you have no excuse Malice is not an excuse. It's not a good reason. You should not do it. The second one is for your enemy. Doesn't matter what they've done, unless you're in war, lawful war. Here we're talking about legal war. You know, just because our country decides we're going to go look for weapons of mass destruction doesn't make it legal. Is it legal? Is it lawful in the eyes of the Most High? So it's got to be legal. Remember, he is the one giving these rules, these commandments. It's not human beings who sit together and came up with them. So don't kill your enemy. Okay? What are you supposed to do with your enemy? You're supposed to admonish him. Sit him down. Bring other witnesses. Let them sit him down. Talk to him. Put some sense into his head or her head. Just like they're doing in some countries like Kenya today. Hear him out. I mean, he should hear you out. If he is not hearing you out, you know, wait and ask for God to give him into your hand. I could not help but think about the story of David and was it Saul? Yeah. Saul was trying to hunt him down. And David, the Most High gave Saul into David's hand. David could have killed him, you know, but instead he just cut a piece of his garments to show him that I could have taken you out, right? Make sure if you're a soldier, you're participating in a lawful war, okay? Otherwise, you end up being dragged into the courts and be accused of genocide and be jailed for life or worse. We have conflicts going on today around the world, you know, the conflict in Israel and Palestine. We have the conflict in Ukraine and Russia. We have internal conflicts and strife like we have in Kenya. You know, we have seen soldiers kill people. Was it even a war? No, it was not even a war. Why would you have snipers shooting at protesters? The Most High said, don't do that. You're killing people. You as an individual, you as the authority that has command over those soldiers, you're dragging them into the war. And that's not right. That's against the commandment, right? The third one is don't slay anybody in revenge. Somebody is attacking you, or they did attack you at some point, they did a trespass on you in one way or another, and you decide, I'm going to take it upon myself to go and attack them. You know, in this country, it's getting out of hand. It already got out of hand. We've seen cases where people go to knock on somebody's door and they mistake, a teenager mistakes somebody's house for their friend's house. They knock on the door and somebody just shoots them. It's not even in revenge. It's just in malice, you know. We've seen other bigger conflicts, you know, in revenge, you know. That shouldn't be happening, you know. We're supposed to resist that. And we're supposed to deliver them to the judges. Those who have wronged us, let's deliver them to the judges, you know. And those judges are required to judge them. If you do not judge properly and instruct the hand of the officer, law enforcement, or whoever it is to be upon that person, you as a judge or you as an officer are going to be answerable to the Most High. We have a lot of injustices going on, corruption and things like that, such that justices or judges are not issuing the right verdicts. Maybe they consider some people above the law. Maybe they take bribes and things like that. It is wrong. The people will cry to the Most High, and the Most High will do the justice. So let's look now at what the scriptures, as we have them in the so-called Bible, say about this commandment. Thou shalt not kill. Okay. go now here. So here is the book of Deuteronomy. This is between Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 1 to verse 21. This is where the commandments are given. And there in verse 17, you have 4 words: thou shalt not kill. This commandment from the book of the law on the right here has 128 words. 126 words, sorry, 126 words. They only gave us 4 words. Whether that was deliberate or not, I don't know, but it's a travesty that we would only have 4 words out of 126 words that explain in detail what is acceptable, or when it is acceptable that somebody could kill another, which is lawful war. That is not explained. We're not explained to in the scriptures in Deuteronomy all these other words, all these other issues that are mentioned here that we've talked about, all those scenarios that the Most High gives us, they're not mentioned in the scriptures in Deuteronomy where the commandments are. What about Exodus chapter 20? Let's take a look. Exodus chapter 20, you're going to find the commandments from verse 1 to verse 17. And in verse 13, they did it again. They gave us 4 words, thou shalt not kill, instead of giving us the full truth and nothing but the whole truth. 126 words. So if you're reading the so-called Bible, you will not get this understanding and explanation, which are the very words of the Most High himself. He spoke this. He spoke this. They heard it, our ancestors, and they passed it on down through the generations. But those who put together the scriptures in the Bible thought it good for their purpose not to give us the whole truth. Let us spread this whole truth about this commandment. Let us check our laws in our different jurisdictions and see if they're aligned to this whole truth, not just those 4 words, but this whole truth. Are they aligned? Let's check our laws. Last but not least, let us listen to this commandment again.
Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt slay no man in malice, neither thy child, nor thy wife, nor thy bondman, nor thy bondwoman, nor thy servant, nor the child of thy servant. Neither shalt thou slay thine enemy, except thou admonish him, and entreat him, and he hear thee not, and God give him into thy hand. Thou shalt only slay him in lawful war. And if any man trespass against thee, and break through, and do violence, thou shalt not slay him in revenge. If thou overtake him in the trespass, thou mayest resist unto blood. But except thou slay him in the trespass, thou shalt deliver him to the judge, he shall judge him, and the hand of the office shall be on him.